Welcome to Corrective Chiropractic. My name is Dr. Caitlin and I'm a prenatal and pediatric specialist chiropractor here in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, and this is my husband.
Hi guys, Dr. Brandon Carroll here. I'm a sports chiropractor and extremity specialist.
Welcome to our office. We are going to give you a little brief tour, show you what we do. Depending on if you've been to a chiropractor or not before, some of this might look familiar, and even if you have been to a chiropractor before, some of it might look a little bit different. So go ahead and come on with us. Normally what happens in the office is you check in at the iPad, which isn't there right now. Mallory, our wonderful office manager, will greet you, get you all taken care of. And then what you can do is there's generally no sitting and no waiting in our office, which is great. After your first appointment, when we get to learn more about you and your body, you are gonna have a set of spinal warm-up activities specific to you, especially because Dr. Brandon works with so many athletes and so many sports, especially with tennis, being a really rotation-driven sport. We have a couple different things that our athletes would generally do before they get adjusted to help support their bodies.
That's right, so we're gonna demonstrate some of those exercises right now. You've probably seen this. A lot of the professional golfers, tennis, baseball players will use the crossover symmetry. It's available in the office. Something, I'll give you just like a little example, would be some external rotation movements, just like this, right? And we also do a lot of back strengtheners. We do spend a lot of time as a culture in this forward head position, which rounds our upper back. Not good, doesn't translate well to the tennis court. And so some things that we will be doing in here along with these spinal adjustments is some rehabilitation stuff. And so that's what this guy does. It will look something similar to this motion here, right? Very beneficial for the upper back and strengthening around the spine itself. And so if you come back this direction, this guy up here on the wall, this is something that we use to get your cervical spine or your neck warmed up prior to being adjusted. I can demonstrate it for you, yeah, if you'd like to see.
All right, so as a culture, we spend a ton of time forward and down, especially for the younger generation. And realistically, what that means is if you've ever seen somebody walk around like this, that's not good for their spine, their lungs, their ability to breathe in, and it causes a lot of tension, headaches, and shoulder problems. Especially for tennis players, you need to have your shoulder joint working 100%. Your shoulder is the most mobile joint in the body, but it's also the least stable, which is why you hear about shoulder injuries all the time. So it's super important that you have a strong shoulder and that you have the proper setup in your neck, because your neck and your shoulder work directly together. So Dr. Brandon is demonstrating some cervical traction, which really helps with your neck, relieve tension, and it helps a lot, especially with your upper trap, which is a big muscle that connects from the base of your skull to your shoulder and down into your back. And other great benefits as well, but especially important for the tennis players. Some people do this, some people don't, depending on what they need. Everybody in the office is gonna spend some time on these wobble chairs, which helps warm up their hips and their low back before they get adjusted. So bones in your spine are really big. So we got big bones, big muscles, just like tennis or any sport. You gotta do a little bit of warm up, right? So we get some range of motion, we get some blood flow going into our bodies before you get adjusted.
No, very good for your low back and your hips. And I always explain to people, whether you're a tennis player or not, we do spend a lot of time sedentary, and to go right into the court or into sport doesn't make a lot of sense. Same thing with the table. Whenever you get adjusted, it's very important that we have you warmed up prior to being adjusted. And that's actually where we're heading next, is to the adjusting bays. So the adjusting table, just so you guys can see it, looks like this. This is a drop table, so it has these separate pieces, actually designed for kids and adjusting younger people. And so it'll come up like this. We use that to use your body weight and gravity to drop into the adjustment, which is great. But Dr. you can talk a little bit more about the adjusting of kids.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
so working with kids, kids have a totally different spine than adults. So if you've been adjusted before and you've heard clicking and popping in your body, that is a great way to be adjusted if you're at what's called skeletal maturity, okay? So especially for the kids out there that are working towards being better tennis players, whether it's just for fun or if it's a more serious, tennis experience, it's important to have good body alignment for them to grow and develop. So we have different ways of adjusting kids of all different ages, which looks a lot different than adjusting adults.
Yeah, absolutely. And after each adjustment, we always focus on the soft tissue, and that's about what Kate is going to do right now. We're going to use this guy. It's called an arthro stem.
Cool.
You want
wanna
to
start
demonstrate
on
on
the
me?
table?
Yeah, that way they can actually see it in action.
All right, so anybody out there think that they have any trigger points in their mid-back or around their shoulder blade? Pretty much everybody is gonna say yes to that. But what that means is when you get those trigger points or any scar tissue in your body, it's gonna limit your range of motion. And if they're in there for long enough, they can actually cause some issues and some chronic overuse, right? And especially when we're talking about injury prevention, you need your body to be moving the right way, especially when you're, playing sports over and over again, right? So after every adjustment, which is always the most important thing that we do, we use this guy. So what it is it's basically a medical grade massage tool, but it will help us break up trigger points and scar tissue in your soft tissue. So this is my favorite part, is getting to help people have some healing in their soft tissue. And this helps a lot with blood flow to the area as well. So you can actually get good healing all throughout your shoulder, through your neck, through your thoracic spine, and your low back. Just helps speed up that healing process. Nice job, Brandon. In the office, they'll be a little longer, but good demo. All right.
We're gonna head on this way.
Also, just so you guys know, we're in the middle of COVID-19, but we are taking extra precautions in our office, hence the Lysol bottle. That's just one of many different things that we're doing to ensure the safety and health of all of our patients and the staff. All right, we're going this way. We normally have a kids area over here for the young ones, but that's out right now. But this is our day 1 room. You in there? All right.
Yeah, come on in. So this is where we'll do the majority of our testing on the initial visit. We're gonna do a few things. We're always gonna take x-ray, whether it's, somebody coming in for a wellness exam or somebody who does have acute pain. Reason being, you cannot fix what you can't see. And so it gives us the ability to see within the patient's body to be able to give them the best results. And so that's what this guy is over here. We also use what is called a posture grid, and so we will do this. Something that we do see in a lot of our younger athletes or just younger people in general is we will see curvatures of misalignments that will show up when they just stand still. You can see a shoulder tilt, rotation. Rotation is huge in our golf, tennis world because there's so much unilateral activity. So that will all show up on x-ray so that we can then give them the most individualized care possible.
We also have nerve and muscle scans over here. So that lets us see, we can't see or feel everything in our bodies. That doesn't mean that they're not causing some issues for us, whether we're at the point that we are feeling those issues or whether it's just building up and it's gonna hit us in the next week or the next month, right? So that lets us identify some of those problems early instead of waiting for them to become more serious. So we can see, are your nerves working? Are your muscles irritated, inflamed? What's going on with your spine? So all together, that gives us a really good picture of your health. So like Dr. Brandon was saying, we can put together a custom care plan for every single person because we're all different people, different lives and activities, whether on the tennis court or off the tennis court. So we need individualized care for our bodies.
That's right.
Cool.
There's one last step. I'm gonna come back this way. So the way I like to describe this, we have the warm-up area, which you did just see, then the adjustment, which is very important, and then the last part is the cool down. So the rolling traction tables are awesome. I think you've tried this before, Sandy. Yes, you love this. So it's designed to do a couple things. Number one, after the adjustment, it's very important that you do not just run straight out to your car, jump in there all twisted up like this, or go right back to your cell phone, right? So we're gonna have each patient use the table to let that adjustment set in and last as long as possible. But if you look at this picture up here, you can see how much musculature there is in between your shoulder blades and aligning your spine itself, and we need to get that as soft as possible. So we'll have patients lie on this table. It has a large roller. It's gonna come up, contact those muscles, vibrate, massage them out to keep them as loose as possible, letting that adjustment last as long as possible. Okay?
Cool. And then that concludes your tour. And the great news is, in our office, we really respect your time. We know that life is crazy and busy. So the good news is, most of the time, if you've got your appointment scheduled up front, when you're done, you can just walk right on out the office and we'll see you at your next visit. So thank you for visiting Corrective Chiropractic with us today. We hope you have a great day.